All righty, are we live? Yes, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, repeat after me. Low house edge does not equal low risk. And anybody's going to tell you, whatever way you play to lower the house edge, there is no guarantee. Individual results may vary. What's the difference between probability and house edge and low risk or high risk? We're going to talk about all of that right now.
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor. Let's get rolling. This time, hopefully, I'll remember to, there we go, turn off the music so it doesn't keep going. Although it's not bad. It's a good little jingle.
Yeah. It kind of drives you on in there. And all. So how you been?
Good. I've been doing a lot of club work. Hey, Naomi.
Hey,
what's up,
Naomi.
Color Up Man? That's the Color Up Man. That's funny screening. Yeah, I've had a very busy week of doing club stuff. So future stuff. I'm trying to change a bunch of back end stuff, and I got a lot of exciting things coming up. I don't want to make an announcement of an announcement, so I'm not going to say too much more about that. But I've been plugging away, doing a lot of stuff, and it gets me excited about doing that kind of stuff for the club. So that's been really good. And then another thing, I mentioned right before the show started to you is I haven't been on Twitter, which is where I usually get X, where I usually get my news. Okay. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but I don't know about it. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm dealing with dice and club stuff, and not all the world falling apart or whatever's going on. I don't even know. Don't
forget DiceCon.
Yeah.
A bunch of people ordered their jersey, and that's going to be coming up on your plate too. So
yep. So some of the things I've been working on was nailing down, the venues and events and all that stuff.
Excellent.
So busy week, and I know you've been busy.
Yes. Last weekend I was at the Virginia State DECA conference, and we had our biggest one yet. I think it was over 5,500 students from around Virginia. Virginia is the fourth largest chapter in the world as far as paid membership. And that's pretty wild. And so anyway, it went from a long weekend with no sleep to a long week without my wife in town. And then when she finally arrived, I got a couple hours of sleep and then off to a workshop campsite weekend. And the eye-poke was to have daylight savings time last night. And but anyway, we're not going to set the world record today for obvious reasons for length of podcast, but we are going to have some quality. And we do have a topic this week, and I'm very excited to hear about all of that good stuff. Yeah, my wife had mentioned she has that contract where she works in the airline industry. When she lands, she's supposed to get like 8 hours behind, in a hotel room or whatever, right? That it's like unencumbered,
But they didn't adjust for daylight savings time, so it's like doesn't matter. 7? You're still going early. So she's like, "Dang it, you didn't get enough sleep." But
no
anyway.
Safety violation, huh?
No, I'm like, why isn't that in your contract? Yeah, I guess they haven't worked that one out. Dennis Williams asked, when is DiceCon? That's in June for Color Up Club members. So hop in the club Discord and find out more information about that if you're interested. So I was thinking about this for whatever reason. Some of the strategies that have been submitted to me and some of the comments I've been getting recently were all about house edge, and for the most part, it was, "Hey, you're stupid. Play, you just, do max odds," or the house edge is so important in every single bet you make. And it just got me thinking that a lot of people kind of feel like low house edge equals low risk. And that's not really the case at all. It's still gambling. You're still very much risking your money.
Okay.
And as most players play, the odds are against you. Most of the game of craps, unless you're a dark side player, you're betting as an underdog, right? Like if you think about it in the sports language or something, you're betting the underdog, not the favorite, the slow horse,
right?
The underside boxer. That's who you're betting on when you're betting on numbers and the pass line in any light side play. You're really betting on the underdog. You have to overcome quite a bit to win. And then same goes for the dark side. Yes, you are the favorite. You're the bigger boxer. You're the fastest horse with the time trials and all that stuff. You're the team who's won 10 straight games, but you get paid accordingly because you're the favorite. You get paid less. So that's kind of factored in there. But yeah, a lot of people are like, well, if I stick to the low house edge, that means it's going to be much easier to win. And it really doesn't have anything to do with winning.
No, it's got nothing to do with winning and losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think people get that twisted a little bit.
There's people are confused with the terms. And I think we ought to start off and talk about what do they mean when you say house edge? I think that's a good place to start.
Okay. Well, you set me up good because I have a video. Let me just bring this up, actually.
You've got a video? What a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So let me add this in here. Now, this is a classic.
Who's that guy? Who's
yeah,
this
exactly. Exactly. The young Jeremy. But let me go ahead and play it, and hopefully everyone can hear it. But I should redo this because it's one of my very first videos, but it actually does a really great job about house edge. So let's go ahead and...
Let me share an example that helped me understand the house edge. Let's say that you and a friend were going to flip a coin 10 times and bet $10 on the outcome of each flip. Obviously, the odds of either the heads or the tails showing is a 50-50 chance, or the odds would be stated as 1-to-1. You would win $10 each time the coin showed heads, and your friend would win $10 each time the coin came up tails. This would be a fair bet, and neither one of you would have an edge over the other. Probability, or the odds, say you would end up breaking even after 10 flips of the coin, with it showing heads 5 times and tails the other 5 times. However, this wouldn't necessarily be the outcome. The coin could come up 6, 7, or even 10 times on the same side, causing one of you to win more. Now, let's say that the bet was this. Every time the coin came up heads, your friend wins $10, but every time the coin comes up tails, you only win $9. With these terms, your friend would maintain a 5% edge over you. If the coin came up 5 times heads and 5 times tails, he would win $50 and you would win $45. This is exactly how the casino makes their money. They set the terms so that everything being equal, they still maintain that edge. Going back to my example, you certainly could get lucky, beat the odds,
and this is how we win.
Could come up tails 6 or more times and you would win a profit. 6 wins at $9 would total $54 against 4 losses at $10 totaling $40. This would give you an overall profit of $14 even though your friend had the edge. However, if you continued betting this way, that is, continued to give away 5% advantage, you would lose over time. The longer you continue to play, the more likely the coin flips will average out to their true odds. After 100 coin flips, let's say you got 49 tails, your friend got 51 heads. Almost 50-50, right?
Right.
But look at the money. You won $441 and your friend won $510. So with just one flip of the coin difference, you lost $69. Doesn't seem fair, does it?
No.
That is what you are facing with a bet with a 5% edge at the casino. The good news is that one flip of the coin difference.
I just want to kind of pause it there on that because it's pretty dramatic. Once the numbers get a large volume of numbers, right? Which is the longer you play, the more rolls and that sort of things. The difference, if things come to probability or even close, they don't. I mean, in this instance, it's only off by 1 flip, right? But the money difference is huge, right? And that's just at 5%. So a lot of times we talk about keeping a house edge under 3%, or, there's a lot of bets in the 1% range in craps, which is what's so great about craps. But there are also a lot of bets that are 9%, 10%, 11% in craps, especially the stuff in the middle. Yeah. The NE7, 16%. So if everything's even, your face, it's very difficult to beat the casino, all things being somewhat equal. I mean, but this is the key how you win. Obviously, you roll your number more than it should be rolled, you're going to win. It's just kind of the nature of the game. But the more it becomes equal and the higher the house edge, the more you're basically in trouble playing a gambling game like this. So,
yeah, I think two things when I watched that video. One, you should have said, "Hey guys, that guy over there is really not your friend. That's the casino. The casino is not your friend."
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, or as The Rock says, it doesn't matter, whatever kind of way you play. That's one thing that comes to mind. And I thought it was perfect, looking back through the lens from 8 years ago or whatever, where you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, you can be right there at probability or really close, and you can still come out a loser.
Yeah, and a big loser too, right? And so that's the house edge. The house edge is really the percent that the casino does not pay you, or what they hold back, or what there's what they should pay you for the risk you're taking.
That's right.
Yeah,
for the risk.
and then they skim it off those. So they skim it off. So they basically win. Even when you're winning, they're taking their cut. It's just their vig or percentage or whatever. And to be somewhat fair, that's the cost of doing business, right? No one sells at break even or anything. You got to have profit. They got to run their operations and everything like that. The tricky part is, some of the things they do pushes the house edge so high. You talk about slot machines where it's 10, 15%. That's pretty predatory almost. I mean, paying 1%, 2%, whatever, the cost of doing things, the cost of entertainment, it's okay and something that we can sometimes win with. But once you get up above 10%, it's really pretty icky territory.
Yeah, and it's very hard. I mean, almost impossible. But do people win at slots in theory?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you mean like
brother?
win? No,
yeah.
No. But there's people that, you win, but not what you should win, and for the risk you're taking. And overall, the majority are losers, and that's why they build these palaces, right?
So my next thing I think we ought to talk about is you talk about low risk, right?
Right.
Low risk is not with that in house edge. And I saw one of the comments in there. I try to limit the way when I'm playing my standard game, not on a cruise, not hedging or anything. The first several books that I read said, hey, look, try to limit the house edge, lower that fee or commission that you're giving them on these bets. And they identified certain bets. And they said, don't go more than 3%. Well, I got extreme, and I said, I'm not going to go more than 1.51%. And I think it did help me, although sometimes you can get wiped out in a very short period of time. But with a little bit of variance and a little bit of luck, you can color up. And that's what happened to me initially. But I think we ought to look at those probabilities some too.
Well, I would say it's definitely a smart way to play, like to limit what what you have to overcome, the amount, if things become according to probability, to limit that uphill battle you're facing is smart. So playing a low house game, if you can do it, or you probably should do it, is a smart way to play. That's not really what I'm trying to get at. Ideally, I would say, hey, don't play anything in the center. Play low house edge. It's going to give you the best chance, and it's a smart way to play. But I just want to push back on the people that are like, well, if you play low house edge, you don't have any risk, and it's just not. That's what I'm trying to get across to people. Is it's a whole different ball game. I think my first note here says the house edge is a long-term math concept. So that's what it's based on, is a long-term. Right. And it tells you how much you're expected to lose over, thousands of rolls.
Okay.
But what we play and what happens in 20 minutes or 1 hour, 3 hours is
Very
a totally different story. So you could play. Technically, the best way is the dark side by 0.005% better than the pass line. But we'll just stick to the pass line because that's what people know. Pass line, max odds, your house edge is well under 0.1%. And, some tables are 100 times odds. So if you play that way, they're skimming off very little. But if you can't hit any dang points, it ain't going to do you any good. You're going to lose all your bets and get wiped out. Like
very quickly.
Right. So that's the thing. Smart to play. And if you look back, if you continue to play that way over a 10-year period, and I'm betting on the 5 and 9, which is a 4% house edge, and I'm betting. I love the horn bets, or something in the hard ways. Like, yes, if we go this weekend, I may win $1,000 and you lose $1,000. But in 10 years, I guarantee you, I'm the big loser, and you're hanging in there. You may not have lost all that much. To be honest,
I think it might be 10 days.
Maybe. I mean,
you never know.
The volatility switches, and it switches on the very next roll. So you never know. You could go 10 days cold. You can go 10 years cold. The longer and as many rolls, the more it builds to that probability pyramid, but not always. There's no guarantees that it will to get there. It's just random chance. So,
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the probability and the pyramids, and there's how many ways to roll that 7, Big Red?
6,
right? And the probability of throwing a 2 6-sided die out there, to roll a 7, it's 16.67%.
1 in 6, yep, 16%, yep.
1 out of 6 it rolls. But then you look at the 8 and the 6, they look really good.
Yeah, there's 5 ways.
13.89.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a what? 3%, less than 3% difference in the two.
Mm-hmm. The house edge on is on the 6A is 1.52, and that's where it is. That's why we talk about the 6 and 8 much, because they are really great bets. They're not that far behind probability wise behind the 7, and the casino pays it pretty fairly. They don't take a big chunk out of it, so that's why those are one of those bets that we always recommend,
especially for the newbies, right?
Yeah, a lot of strategies. 6 and 8, 6 and 8, 6 and 8, pass line, 6 and 8. Mm-hmm. Especially for, people who talk about they don't like the pass line, they don't like to come bet. It's a 2-part bet. It's really only worth it if you do add odds, so it's a little more complicated. But some people are like, I like a place bet. They're convenient. I can press them up. I can take them down, whatever. Yeah. Great. Do it on the 6 and 8, right? Those are great low house edge bets. So, 6 and 8 are good ones.
I mean,
what else you got?
That's pretty good. And then you jump to the 5 and 9. The percentage or probability on those, they drop down to 11.11.
Mm-hmm. Probability of rolling it.
Probability of rolling.
So essentially, 1 out of 10 times you're going to roll it. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 out of 10, and then it starts going down from there. 4 and 10 is down to 8.33. And then for you crapless table guys, the 3 is at 5.56 probability.
It's hard to roll those guys.
It is. And then the 2 and the 12 is 2.78. And you add them all together, you end up with 100. So you want to talk about risky, you talk about numbers where you have a very low percentage chance of winning. And that kind of drives me bonkers. So,
in this game is you got to compare everything against the 7. So, I mean, there's always the enemy. The chance to roll it is one thing, but really it's the chance versus the 7, unless you're betting dark side to roll it.
But yeah, I thought we should bring up the actual combinations, because when people think low risk, sometimes they get confused with probability, and sometimes with house edge too. So anyway, I think.
Do you believe that a 7 should roll 1 in every 6 rolls?
No, I don't. I mean, I know mathematically I should believe it.
Yeah.
And each roll is independent.
Yeah.
But even just playing with my buddies a little bit this weekend, not in a casino, just messing around. I think I had one where I rolled 7 3 times in a row. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just math. It's mathematical, and yes, it's like, we talk about the dice. You think about it maybe a little different. This might help some people. If you have a bag and you put 6 marbles inside the bag, one of them is red.
Right.
All the others are black. If you stick your hand in, what are the chance? It's 1 in 6.
Right.
So it should happen. If you reset it every time, it should happen 1 in 6 times. Does it happen 1 in 6 times? Hardly ever.
Yeah.
A lot of times, everyone complains about, the 0.7 outright. A lot of times it happens in the first 2 rolls. It happens in the first 3 rolls. Like you said, it happens back to back. It happens 3 times in a row. And then what many of us as crap players love is it didn't happen for 20, 30 rolls. So no, it doesn't happen 1 in 6, but that's the math. And that's how all the payment structure is based off of. And the casino banks on this. This is how they make their money. And because it's they don't base their math off of, hey, yes, the probability is 1 in 6, but it happens more often or less often. So we're going to change the prices of how much our house edge is. They don't do that. They do it all based off the math because they know, Jim's only going to be there for the weekend. We're here 24/7, 365 days a year. The math works out 1 in 6, and we get our money.
And they don't care from who.
Yeah, the math is one thing.
Or for who.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the variance of what actually happens with the dice. So.
Which is actually your next point on our list, right?
Yeah.
Variance is the wild card.
Yeah.
And that's the sweet spot that we're all looking to be in, and we're all hoping that the 1 in 6 is not just postponed, but it's postponed for a long time. And then say that 1 in 6 is happening. We just want it to be on a come-out roll, so it doesn't knock down our place bets or whatever. If you're like me, a come better, you don't want the 7 anytime. But but yeah, we just want it to change and have a little bit of time for that thing to get, the bell curve to get skewed one way or the other.
Right.
And then we can get in there. And then once it starts skewing back to the bell curve, we say, you know what, it's time to color up, get out of there. And that's where the good crap players have discipline, and they can do that.
Yeah, it's hard. You see a lot of my simulations that lose. You'll see the graph; it goes up and down. There's plenty of times that it's up, and then it comes down and ends losses. But I think what we have 2 weeks ago, we talked about timing. Most things if you timed it right, you could get out on the positive side. It's just, it's pretty difficult to do, for a lot of different reasons. But you can, I kind of lost my train of thought, the variance of it.
If you know when to stop, if you know when the trend ends, when okay, we've been riding this wave and we're up here, and then we go down a little bit. Maybe it's going to go back up again, and it goes down a little bit more, and that's what happens in those videos. And I am a low house edge player. When I play my game, if you play with me at DiceCon, the only stupid thing I'll do is I will do the ATS when I'm up. That's the only dumb high house edge bet I will make. But when I'm playing my game, the worst I'll do is placing the 6 and 8. That's an absolute, and I got enough discipline to do it. I don't care if it's a $5 table, $10 table, 15, whatever. I'm not going to play 25, but whatever it is, I'm going to stick to my game because, like some of the people said at the beginning with the comments, That to me is where it's at. When you win,
Yeah.
you win almost what you should. And when you lose, yeah, you're going to lose everything. But guess what? Everybody else loses everything when Big Red comes. And not only do they lose everything when Big Red comes, guess what? They're paying a higher percent when they do win. So
Right.
they're behind the 8 ball. So
Right. They're not winning what they should win
Right.
compared to you. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all
Now,
I'm saying.
I do want to temper that. I don't want to like beat down on people who are like, hey, I love placing across all the numbers, right? The 5, well, usually the 4 and 10, you're buying it, and then it becomes a good bet. But
Right.
placing the 5 and 9, I love the hard ways. I'm not beating you down.
Okay.
We're still gambling. Like, again, that goes back to the point of the show is you're not eliminating risk. So yes, Jim is keeping a low house edge. He's playing smart, but I mean, you're not winning more sessions than you're losing.
No,
right?
I'm not. I'm not, Jeremy.
Right. And neither is the other guy. But I don't fault the guy. If that's what you have fun, you're willing to pay. I just want you to have the knowledge that you're paying more than what you could be paying to play this game. So you're not winning as much as you should. Yeah, there's a cheaper way to play this game. You're not winning what you should because the casino's just shorting you more, and you're losing more when you lose. Usually, both people lose their bankroll or their stop loss or whatever. But even if you look at long-term math, you're losing more than other players are if you kind of dabble in that stuff. So.
But Jeremy, I think we need to think about point number 3 on this lively conversation, which is the best bet in the casino.
Okay.
It's so good that
Yeah.
the casino won't even mark it on the
Yeah.
table. You can walk by, and
Wink,
if it
wink.
was a snake, it would bite you, right? It would bite you. In fact, the dealers even tell you, hey, that's the best bet in the casino right there. What
Yeah.
are we talking about?
A lot of times they're referred to as the free odds
The
bet.
free.
Yeah, it sounds even better, doesn't it?
This is incredible. Tell me
Yeah.
all about it.
Well, if you go back to our little coin flip example that I played at the beginning of the show, it is just that. If all things being equal, they pay you what you should be paid. They pay you true, fair odds of it happening.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
nice. That's a
They
real
don't take
friend,
anything
Jeremy.
out. That
That's
is a real friend.
That's not a fake friend.
He's not making any sneaky deals with you. He's being straight up with you. He says, I have the advantage,
Yes.
but I'm going to pay you fairly if you win.
If you win.
Yeah.
So, what is that? Is that low risk? That sounds pretty low risk to me, right?
No. No,
it's not?
It doesn't
It's not?
change the risk at all.
It doesn't change the risk.
No.
Okay. It sounds like
It changes your long-term expected loss, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the casino's not our friend,
no. See, and the tricky part is that,
and it's not free.
It's not some secret bet. They will tout it. They'll ask you. I've really started playing a lot of combets lately. Every time they're all trained. Do you want odds on that? Where are your odds on that? I have the same response. Hey, once I win some of your money, I'll use it on odds. But but yeah, the odds, amazing bet. Zero house edge. We got to say that up front. The only problem with it is it's attached to a losing bet, which is the pass line. They won't let you make it.
But they're all losing bets, right?
They
Except
are.
for Lay, or, whatever.
The problem is you're now putting more money into the game. So you go up to the table, you go to a $15 table, put $15 down. Hey, where's your odds? We're on a 4. You could do triple odds. So you could do, what is that, $45?
Yeah, 3 times
So
15 is 45.
Yeah. Now now your bet is $60. So wait a second, I'm at a $15 table. Now I have a bet of $60 on one number.
But it's a really good bet, Jeremy.
It's a really good bet. Now, if you have $6,000,
It's a great bet.
no problem, right?
No problem.
But the problem is everyone preaches this. The casino preaches it.
They love
You
it.
got to do the odds. You got to do the odds. But they don't say, hey, make sure that it's a certain percentage of your bankroll. Make sure you could afford more. People go in. they've got $100 or $200.
Yeah.
Now they go, you got it. Where's your odds? Now they have $60 on one number. 3 rolls later, the 7 rolls, they get swept their $60 and they're looking around. What just happened? I just lost 60% of my money. I thought it was a great bet. And sir.
Yeah, well, it goes back to probability. So you got a great bet on payment. However, what was the big red? It was almost 17%, 16,
yeah, 16.66 Infinity, yeah.
And then you got say you're doing, hey, how about true odds on a 4?
Yeah.
What was it on the 4? The probability on that? I'll have to look.
It's 2 to 1.
2 to 1, right?
Yeah.
So it's 2 to 1, but I'm saying
6 ways of it rolling.
Yeah, of it rolling.
1 out of 13. So.
Oh, here we go. Let me see. I think
1 divided by 13.
Yeah, hold on. It's on one of these tabs I had open. Here we go. The 4 is 8.33% probability. So
yeah.
You're doing half. You got it's going to be more. It's half.
Yeah.
Of rolling a 4. So you got mathematically a good bet that's paying well, but
yeah.
you're still a big time underdog. And if you do win, that's great. But if you don't, it's a boom.
Right.
It's a punch in the gut.
Right. That's what low house edge. It's a great bet. Low risk. No. It's just as risky. Nothing has changed. It's just a risky bet. You're risking more money.
You're risking more money.
You're risking. Now, if you could afford more money, do it, because see point A, which is it's a low house good bet. Yeah. But if you don't have the money to afford it, now it's not great for you because you have so much risk involved. See, this is kind of not all odds are equal, in my opinion. The odds of the pass line 4 are worse than the odds of pass line 6. See, you're conflating two different things here.
I know what he means.
I know what he means too, because the chances of you winning with a 6 is 13, much higher.
Yeah, 13.
Because
8, 9, yeah.
Yeah, there's 6 ways to lose. There's 5 ways to win.
Right.
But they only pay you 6 to 5 on the odds.
Right.
Because you got a pretty good chance of winning. So that's one aspect of it is the chance to actually win. Now the 4, it's 2 to 1. It's very unlikely. You're twice as likely to lose that bet.
8.33 versus 16.
So yeah, it is.
6,
it's unlikely that you win that bet, but they pay you 2 times as much because it's unlikely. So either they pay you 6 to 5 because you're the 65 underdog, or they pay you 2 to 1 because you're the 2 to 1 underdog. That's what I'm saying. You pay fair. You get paid way better on a 4. Mm-hmm. That's because you're more unlikely. So that's why it's two different conversations of the probability of actually winning and losing versus what they will pay you. Because what they pay you it's fair either way.
Okay.
So I don't care which number I'm on as long as they pay me really good, because you're going to end up getting paid good.
If it rolls. Right.
If it rolls, right. That's the big part. I mean, that's the gamble, and that's where the risk is, and where people are like, wait a second, it was a low house edge bet. Why did they sweep 60% or $60 away? Sir, it's the low house edge bet, but that has nothing to do with how risky it is.
It's a great bet that lost. Sometimes great bets lose, sir.
You're a good loser.
Yeah. It happens. Hey, that next comment, I think, is one we didn't really bring this one in. I think this is a good time to do it. So, conversely, the odds on the don't come and don't pass pay so much better for the 6, 7, and 8, and so on. So you want to talk about doing it that way too, because those are odds and those are also probabilities too. So what?
It's the inverse. So it's just the exact inverse. But when you're laying the odds, they're paying you what you should get paid. So a lot of people say it's very controversial. They'll make a don't come bet and it goes to the 6. Right. Well, now people conflate the payment versus the probability of rolling, because they go, you know what? I'm on the 6. I do win with the 7. I am still the favorite. There's 6 ways to roll it, but I'm on the 6. and there are 5 ways to roll that. So there's a really good chance that the 6 can roll, and I'm going to lose my bet.
Yes.
But they pay you 5 to 6. So they pay you really well. Now, a lot of people will go, okay, I make a don't come bet. It goes to the 4. Okay, they go, you know what? I have a really good chance to win that. Why? Because there's twice as many ways to win. There's twice as many ways to roll that 6. So there's a good chance I win it. The problem? They pay you really poorly. They only pay you 1 to 2. You make a $100 bet. They're only going to pay you 50 for that. So it really doesn't matter. They pay you true and fair. That's what's so great about that bet, the odds bet, whether it's light side or dark side, doesn't matter. It's a whole different ball game. The nice thing is you can get that part out of your head. They're paying you fair for whatever it is. The tricky part is, hey, do you believe you're more likely to win this bet or less likely to win this bet? And then you just have to make your decision based off that, because you do get taken care of. They do pay you fair with that one. So that's why it's a pretty, it's a great way to play because of that
funny,
fact.
Though, when you bet more and it lowers the house edge on the pass line.
Yeah.
It's almost like it doesn't make sense. Like the house edge should be the house edge. The math on it should be. But I guess the way you got to think about it is it's taking the edge off. It dilutes the pass line side of it, because you can't dilute no commission on this side.
No commission. Yeah, the odds are,
You can't do it.
Yes.
And then
the pass line's 1.4%. That's our baseline.
Right.
And then so when you add a 0%, well, now if this is 1.4, which it doesn't, you always lose long term, you lose 1.4% of however much you play. That's why I say max odds, no odds, both players in 100 years are going to lose 1.4 of whatever they have on the pass line. But if both players play $60 through, the player with odds now has diluted how much money they have at 1.4%. They're adding more at 0%. So they have more, they're gambling more money at 0%. And so the overall amount gets lowered. That's why you can go to, I think single odds is 0.8%, and it keeps dropping and dropping. And then once you get to 100 times odds, I believe it's 0.02% house edge, which is just freaking phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's almost break even. But again, now you got 100 times, you got a $10 bet and 100 times, or no, 1,000 in odds, right? So you got $1,010 bet on any given number.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. And think about the dark side of things too. That's more money. You talk about, hey, when we do it on the pass line, you talk about, you got more. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Not that one. It was the one above it. Yeah. This is one here. George, our good buddy George there, he said he saw a couple guys lay the 10 and the 4 on his rolls this weekend, and they lost all the time. And I'm the same way. I don't understand it, but if I play in any kind of mixed strategy on the cruise ship or whatever, I seem to have terrible luck and high risk when I do it. But when other people do it, it's your aura, your nature, your cosmic, because you're such a positive, good energy guy. I'm a good energy guy. I bring Gatorade to the old man's soccer team every week. I try to do that. But you're right. I guess it's the world saying, hey, look, all is not right. You got to get back on your side of the fence. So I don't know. And
let Mr. Grumpy Pants do the don't and the lay bets, and
leave it to them.
Although I use a lay bet quite often, so that is one. It's not something we need to get into today, but some people do take it personal that, hey, you're betting against me or for me. You're not. You're both playing against the casino in the house.
Who's not your friend? Who's
not your friend? We've established that. Right. As much as they say they are, they really are not. They're not giving you great fair rates. Well, except for the odds bet. But again, that's kind of a trick in my book. It's kind of a trick, I believe. Because they know most people will play it and be underfunded or under bankrolled for it. So
But point number 3 on that outline was it's not safe. The odds bet, even though it's low house edge or no house edge, it's not a safe bet. It's still a bet.
Safe and smart
gambling.
are not the same thing. Yeah,
not the same thing. Safe is to get out of the casino.
Yeah, exactly. Safe would be, putting in it, even, stock market's risky, but, putting in a savings account, that's safe, right? Safer. If you're in the casino and you're gambling, come on.
Yes.
There's very little that's safe.
No.
So, it's kind of like a term that shouldn't be allowed there.
Oh, yeah.
So even though you're lowering the house edge, I really don't feel like you're making a safer bet.
No, because the probabilities never change no matter what the combination of the dice probabilities never change. And the other big thing is, again, it goes back to that variance. I don't know, John with Pro Craps and everybody's looking for that to be in that little area to where you can just hang out for a little while and then like on your videos just jump out when you're on the crest of the wave, but that's very difficult to do, and that's a whole nother show, which we've done probably.
Yeah, I love what I have here for the bottom line of this is low edge is a long game advantage, but is not a short session shield. I love the term shield because it's like I'm going to protect myself
by making a low house edge.
Making a low house edge
or
bet.
No house edge.
Right. In the case of odds, I'm going to do a bunch of odds because it's a nice protective shield against me. But no, variance does not care. It will up and down around your shield and smack you in the face plenty of times.
What's crazy about this whole thing, and this thought just came to me, the 6 ways to roll 7, 1 out of 6. 16.67%. Now, if you say anything in life, you said 16% of something. Is that a lot?
It feels like a small figure, right?
It seems so low.
Yeah.
But when you divide it up over 36 things, it's
the top dog.
It's the big man on campus.
Yeah.
It's the heavyweight undefeated champion of the world walking into the room, but we do it a disservice. Maybe we ought to say, 160% or something. I don't know, 16%.
Well, I mean, that's what Darksiders say is like, bro, it's the big dog. It's happening 16, let's say 17%. Like, you're a fool to not bet the dark side. And bet the favorite because it's coming, right? And so they do have a legitimate point there. Mm-hmm. The problem is you win less when you bet that way. So it's just I think Alex has a kind of says it here. It comes down to how much of your bankroll you're willing to expose per roll. At the same time, do you want to win more faster or win a little bit and grind it out? So as the underdog, you have a bigger potential win, but it happens less frequently.
Okay.
If you're betting the dark side, you're betting the favorite. You're more likely to win. You win more often.
Right.
The sessions you win more often, but you're winning smaller amounts.
Very small amounts.
And again, the math is so perfectly balanced. Just pick a side, whatever is comfortable for you. How do you like to bet? Because
it is amazing.
If one way was better than the other, we would all be on that one side, right? But it doesn't work that way. No one knows. And that's why the casino sits in the middle and says, bet either way. We don't care.
We don't care.
We'll take your percentage. They're happy to take it either way and know that either way can't beat them.
And it's amazing how much entertainment we get out of it.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's fun. It's incredible. And you get that satisfaction when you do win because you know how easy it is to lose.
Yeah.
Being 16% versus 13%, you say, hey, I'm only 3% off or whatever.
Yeah.
But 3% sounds like a very small number. And even when you do it literally by the numbers, 6 ways to roll 7, there's 5 ways to roll a 6 or an 8. You're one off.
Yeah, it doesn't take much difference.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah, and I will say, I'll just kind of sprinkle this in the conversation. Not that I want to talk about it, but that's the point of dice controllers and influencers, right? Mm-hmm. So very few, if any, say, hey, I'm going to try for a 9 and roll a 9. Most of them don't say that. Most of them say, I'm trying to avoid the 7 a little more than you, who just throws them randomly.
Untrained.
Because, like you're saying, the math is so, it's the difference. One roll here or there makes a huge difference.
Yes, it does.
In the math percentages. So if they can prevent the 7, if they can move it from
come out, bro. Yeah, just a needle to 2% or whatever.
Right. If it didn't happen 1 in 6 times, if they can get it to 1 in 7 times, or 1 in 8 times, the game changes dramatically because the casino pays you based off 1 of 6. So if you get to 1 in 8, you have a huge advantage and can make money at this game. And so that's what their belief is.
And it's a belief.
Yeah.
Right. It's a belief for these people. And again, not rooting against anybody. Everybody has to make a decision with it, and you can, follow the science or whatever you want to call it. You got to figure it out. But if you want to do that, and I think there was somebody earlier in the chat asking about dice control, and that's not the place. If you want to try it, give it a try. My thing is, I wouldn't be paying for any lessons. There's a lot of free stuff out there, but if you want to go, and maybe there's more to it than just paying for the dice. Maybe it's teaching you how to bet, but I would tell you there's a lot of other places that you can learn to make bets on here as well. But I think, again, that's why your channel, you just put it out there and say, hey, this is it. Whatever the strategy is, whatever light side, dark side, hybrid, whatever, you roll it out. And because you kill a, quote, great strategy, that just shows the brilliance of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant. Whoever thought of this? And I know this, we've done a story or a show on the history of it. But it's just amazing in how it's been tweaked through the years. I don't know. It's incredible. So I just love this thing. I think that was a nice way to your little thought on there to put a little bow around it, because I know we're coming up 46 minutes there into the,
yeah. I think we end it and we kind of run through some comments. I know there was a lot of good stuff, but yeah, I just wanted to get that point across this week that yes, there are great. That's why I think craps is the best game with odds. It's better than baccarat.
Yeah.
It's not better than card counting in blackjack, because you could actually gain an advantage if it's dealt deck, not a shuffling deck. But
I've never been asked to step away from the table though. So
they don't really do that, and no one has really proved that they could push the edge, the 7 to 1 to 8, and take advantage of that, and make millions of dollars. But yeah. The bottom line is low house edge can and is a great bet, but it is not the same thing as meaning low that risk. It's a low risk. You still have risk in this game. Sometimes they pay you better for the risk you're taking than other bets, but you got to get it in your mindset. It's a whole different beast. Risk is not the same thing as a good bet or smart bet or low house edge bet.
Okay.
It could just come up and bite you just as bad as the bad bets. So that's how we win and end it. And however you like to play the low house edge bets, come bets and odds like Jim, or the crazy bets like me. I love the place bets. Good luck on coloring up.
All right, we're going to do our comments for everybody who's still around there.
Alex said it's been 46 minutes. We just got started. Yeah.
I
don't know if you came in late, but
yeah, no, he was throwing some good comments up there. But let's see here. I'll go up to the top. You see at the bottom. We got a few. Oh, well, you got Biloxi.
Enjoyed the episode. We'll just miss you guys on Biloxi going this week. See what Ty's going. Yeah, I'm. It's a club member event, but I don't mind this because mostly only club members listen to the live. But I am going to Biloxi the 16th or something. I don't know. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of somewhere in the middle of this month to Biloxi as a meetup. I know a handful. I don't know, 5, 10 have responded and said they're going to meet me there. So
I think that's great.
Nothing official. I think it's great. Just getting out there to those who are in that area who can't get to Vegas and hang out, play little craps together. So, yeah.
All right. So here was the one that I was alluding to earlier. He says, "Hey, I just have a few questions. If I can get the help, is there a certain way to throw the dice or set them?"
Yes,
And
but we're not the guys to ask.
yeah,
just search out there. There's plenty of resources. And Jim mentioned the ones, if they say it's going to cost you $5,000 to teach you that, there are a lot of people would say you get what you pay for. I don't know, but there are a lot of free resources and things on YouTube to at least get started.
There are great communities, YouTubers who really believe in it, really practice. You can watch them do it. Every
great
week. Some of
people.
my friends, great people, and
So,
they're not going to charge you anything.
Dig into it. You could get into it, and then you can make a decision. Hey, do you need to pay for classes or whatever beyond that? But don't start there.
No.
See what's out there. Dig in a little bit. But yeah, we're just not the guys to ask because we don't know. We don't practice it enough.
No, not at all. And Alex said he was first time on the podcast, so that was great. Like I said.
Oh yeah, and he's chimed in a bunch, so thanks.
Yeah. Say thanks for jumping on in there. Let's see.
Okay, here's a comment by Skill and Luck, which kind of refers to the timing thing we did last week. But the system you use is far more important than house edge because each system has specific known theory of when you're out of the hand. So getting out of the hand as soon as possible is playing smarter. What do you think about that? Because there's a degree to that. Because if you go based on the pyramid, the average roll is 8.5. Mm-hmm. The 7's coming. Should you get 2 rolls and out? I actually have an episode that I've kind of written up a little bit about that.
Right.
Upcomer. Yeah, I would call it the not the theory, but it's kind of the regression theory of when you should get out early. Okay. All you're doing is front loading your risk, to be honest with you. But to a degree, that's what systems are about, right? It's usually they're sprinkled in with a 5 and 9 many times. So mathematically, 4% is at the end of the world. I don't know. It's not slot territory range. It's not
right.
prop bet range. But a lot of systems use those bets, and it's more about timing. And a system is really money management, right?
Yes.
You're doing a certain percentage of your bankroll for a certain percentage time. You're deciding to spread it on 3 numbers or 6 numbers or whatever. You're deciding, hey, I'm going to leave it up for so many rolls or this, that. It's really a name for how you're managing your money. Okay. I think is what systems are. So in that aspect, I do agree with him.
All right. And this one here was talking about, he forgot to mention that not but the International something RC of video poker is a low house edge, which again, I didn't know. Like calculating house edge in poker, I know they calculate the hands once they know.
Well, video poker. He said video poker.
So that's video poker is different.
Yeah, video poker, there are certain games, like there's apps and you can look, you get 98%. A lot of games are 97, 98, 99% payback. So they only have 2% house edge. Mm-hmm. There are some games that you could actually have a positive EV in video poker.
In video poker?
Yeah. So it is one of the better and best games you can play.
Wow.
And then poker is a whole different animal because you just play against other players. So that one we know for sure you can get positive expected value and win and become a professional. Yeah, lots of them. Yeah. So
okay.
But there's great video poker games.
Let's see. Looking for some. Well, here we go. We can't get through the show without at least one. How that one got by me. You are a little bit louder than normal.
We usually don't hear louder, but that's better than we can't hear Jim.
Yes. Or I don't know. Bonnie might like that one, so we'll see. Now this one here. When are we going to get a Color Up casino night? And you kind of tease, and you're not going to do an announcement of an announcement.
What does that mean, casino night, and where?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is that got something to do with what you were talking about, or no?
I mean, no. I mean, I'm going to Biloxi. I said I'm going to Biloxi. So we have dice kind of every year. Is that what he means by casino night? We're meeting up to play?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If you're still around, they can jump on in. I don't know. I thought it might have something to do with the announcement of the announcement. Okay.
Playing stadium craps playing at Hollywood in January, and I knocked off a guy's lay 4 and 10 bets for 400 5 times in one go. Felt for the guy.
Woo!
Yeah, $2,000.
Hey, were you on the Navigator of the Seas last summer?
Although I stuck with it for the most part, and it came back around for me, and I did fine.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I either broke even or I won a little bit. I think I ended up doing better than you, but you kind of moved on and did different things.
Yeah,
but
I broke.
We were certainly getting hit on those lay bets early.
Yeah, if I get punched in the face, I'm gonna move. Keep
great bet.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Probability bet.
Brilliant.
Low probability bet. The likelihood that they roll the 4 before the 10 or the 10 before the 6.
Edge, yeah.
7. Sorry. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The dice gods and variants do not care.
Yes, that's very true.
But it is fun to think that we have some, some say so.
Us, yeah. So slots aren't about winning; they're about the fun you had along the way to financial ruin. Sitting there is crazy. Hey, Alex plays like I do. Apparently, he says he doesn't like any bets that are higher than 2% house edge. So, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of bets under 2%. So the question is, why are you playing higher edge bets?
Yeah.
Just because you like to pick up a couple extra
combinations.
I mean, it means you're a little more impatient. You want to get more money into the game, more action. You're an action jumping. If you were patient, just play one number with odds. Yeah. But we really that's not fun for us, right? It's still a game, gambling for entertainment. So that's why usually it doesn't. If we were all smart though, one number, odds.
That would be it. Because place bettors are impatient and greedy. That's according to one of my books.
Is that one of your books?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is an opinion. I don't know if it's a correct opinion, but it is an opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely you get more money on the table quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
which goes back to what we're talking about. It's just more risk.
Yeah.
You can win more, but you can also lose more. So it's same with the odds bet. You can win more, but you can also lose more.
Yeah. All right, here was a strategy from Joe Sevens Q. He says, one don't, 2 comes, 1 don't, 4 units a shooter, and that.
Oh, that's was it crappy crap all day?
Yeah, all day
strategy. There's some people have kind of caught on to that and played some variations.
Yeah, he even said it above it. I skipped over.
Okay.
Full table strategy.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's it. 1 don't, 2 comes, 1 don't.
Yeah, and I've seen it the other way. I've seen a don't or a come and then 2 don'ts and then a come. Like it doesn't matter. You're just hoping that the dice roll but it's a pretty break even game for the most part because you're betting both sides. It's a very hybrid. It's a grinder.
You never answered this question, did you? I did. I think you asked it to me.
Oh yeah, I mean I did too. I mean I said mathematically. Yes, it's supposed to. I do believe that, but and the casinos believe that, and the longer you play, it does come to that because that's how they make their money. But no, it never. You go play for the weekend or the couple hours, it's not going to be 1 in every 6 rolls.
No, never is.
Sometimes it's going to feel like it's coming in bunches.
Robert was saying, "Hey, and thanks for hanging out," and that's
absolutely.
That's why we do it. Yeah.
Let me jump down to the bottom and we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
a 7 should roll 1 in 6 rolls is gambler's fallacy. Falls under the number is due.
Not
that it should. It's the probability. It's the chance.
It's the difference than gambler's fallacy is believing that it, like you said, that it's
right.
due
If we rolled 5 times without it hasn't rolled in 5 times. It means it should roll in the next one. So bet heavy on the 7 or whatever.
And if it did roll that one, then definitely the next one.
Right.
I mean, and if it didn't roll that one, then it absolutely
gotta be
the next
It's
one.
gotta
And
be. No, it
if
never
it
does.
doesn't, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
It resets every single time
Yes.
to the chance or probability of 1 in 6. Does it
Because-
happen 1 in 6? No, it does not.
The mice have no memory whatsoever. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So there's two different things. Two different things.
Yeah, yeah. How about this one over here? And again, this is on your normal thing. Is that pinned up on your videos where you can submit it, or do you have to go to colorup.club?
Just go to colorup.club. It's the main tab there. It's Dice Advice. You'll see. You just
Okay.
go to my website, Dice Advice, and submit a strategy. If you miss or missing Craps Chat, then let John know at Casino Gaming Central. Plug. I don't. I know they went to like on and off, and then the schedule, and I must not be. But yeah,
I've been so busy the last few weeks. I didn't know he had taken a little break.
I don't know if they are or they're active, but
Okay.
it's one of those shows that check out if you love talking crap. So
Yeah. Okay. That's
and it sounds like they need to bug John to get it going. Or so I don't know the situation. So
Alex got one last one here. He said, "Do you also cringe when you see someone throwing money on the sucker bets? Because I know I do. What do you say when in one of the books that I've read, Alex?
I'm sorry.
The general, the one that says, "Give me a $50 horn, $25 horn high midnight, $60 on the hard ways or whatever." They call him the general, and there's a lot of generals out there who know how to play, know how to bet, but usually, and I get no joy out of anybody losing money unless they're obnoxious or being mean to everybody else. You know what I mean? I just don't like it. If they're being a jerk to me or being a jerk to the dealers and that kind of thing, usually I'll color up and just go away. But do you ever? What are your thoughts? You're probably a pretty
you're responding to that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you had it up.
Yeah. I'm wound up on that one, but
I'm the worst expert at craps there is. I think people assume people would assume that like I'm going to be opinionated and tell you what you should bet, and hey, low house edge and max odds, and you should do the come bets, and you should only do 3 bets and then taking them down. I don't care if you throw the horn, see a horn, bet a horn. Like, if you have,
running
to
with
me,
the bulls.
that's what I mean. Like, I'm not going to have any input in how do you play. Like, I don't know. What do you feel is lucky? Like, because the risk in the low house edge is not going to hurt you. It's not going to ruin your day if you're betting the horn bet or the hard ways or the all tall small.
Yeah.
Like if you were said, you know what? I've got my retirement money, me and my wife, and I'm going to start, investing $2,000 a day into this game. I'm going to have an opinion for you. And the opinion is don't, okay? But if you're like, hey, Jeremy, I'm in Biloxi. I got $500 to play today, and I'm playing the all tall small, and I love them. I love me some hard ways. Like, awesome. That sounds good to me. That sounds fun. Whatever you like. So, yeah, I'm the worst expert in the fact that I'm not going to give you.
So you're not going to give him anything like that.
No, it don't bother me. It doesn't care. I'm all for it.
So yeah, I think it's because I'm a teacher. And
Yeah.
because I'm a chatty guy. But you know what bugs me, Alex, and I'll tell you too, is that I'll see somebody up there with say it's a $5 table, and they drop a $15 pass line bet, and then they'll put $5 in odds behind it.
Yeah. Okay.
That thing, for whatever reason, that I was like, hey, you know what you could have done?
Well, yeah. I mean, I could push back on that particular scenario a little bit.
Go ahead. Too.
Well, they're putting the money on the only time they had the advantage for the come out roll.
Yes, I got you. Yeah.
If the math doesn't really matter that much as far as the odds go, they're putting their bigger bet because it's going to win or lose. Whether
you got a 2-to-1 advantage on the
they're
first
putting
roll.
their big bet when they have the advantage. So
There you go. Okay.
mathematically, the smart way to do it would be the opposite. Would be $5 on the pass, $20 in odds. Long term, you're going to be much better off with that too. Yeah. But I could see that they're like, I have the 2-to-1 advantage. Once the puck's on, I'm supposed to lose this bet, so who cares?
So if you're in the middle of a 3 or 4 hour session,
but it's not going to bother me. I could care less.
I don't know. So it's something to entertain my mind when
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I get
and
it. I
hungry.
get it.
I sit there and I look and I was like, or if somebody I know is beside me or something, I'll whisper. I'll say, "You see what they're doing over there?"
I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, it's not like I don't notice it and don't in my mind go,
you got an opinion. You have to have an
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. That I mean, that's what I'm saying. I usually have an opinion, but I've definitely trained myself to be like, that's a stupid way to play, but whatever. And I will keep that to myself. I won't say it out loud for one, but even inside my head, I've trained myself as like, that's a dumb bet, but hey, whatever if they're having fun. So I've really kind of conditioned myself to be better about not judging how people play because we can't judge in a gambling game where all of us are losing.
We're all losers.
We're a bunch of losers.
all have sinned in walking in there in the first place, right? Or whatever. Yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, it drives me. Sometimes different things drive me nuts.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And that's just a little.
You gotta let it go, Jim. Let it go. Let it go.
Go to your happy place. Just worry about your little bankroll and your little
exactly. You got enough to worry about.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your box. Stay in your box.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, here he's got somebody else got an opinion. The bet that bugs me is shooter craps is a $15 pass line and a $25 ATS bet. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? $15 pass line, $25 ATS.
Whatever floats your boat.
Hey, if you've got $40 and that's how you want to go out guns a-blazing, give it a shot.
You look like a genius when you roll all the numbers and hit that ATS and you got $25 on it. So who am I to say? Right? Yeah. Like I'm over here making the low house edge bet that loses and you just won a couple $1,000s off your stupid bet. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Okay, I better shut my mouth.
Believe me, I love winning on stupid bets. 1,000% on there.
By the way, Mike, 85 Bears, I just sent I did get your DM about a topic for a show. I sent that to Jim, so maybe we'll see it one day.
Okay. Very good. We'll do one last one here. We're at an hour, 40 craps. Why does a Dyson influencer need to try to, eliminate more sevens where it only rolls about 16% of the time? Yeah. And how do they measure success? Yeah, why? I mean, if 16% of the time, that means what, 84, 83?
Well, you said it feels like a small number, but it's not. In this game and how it's designed, it is the big dog.
Yes.
So unfortunately, even though it only rolls 16%, you lose your bet. You lose money. Yeah, you lose money most of the time. It's hard to overcome only that when it happens 16% of the time.
So how would you answer this question? How do they measure success? How do dice influencers measure?
I don't know.
Success?
He kind of mentioned this last week. Like you don't measure it by how you win, how much you win or something, but you measure by how much you win.
That's what I think.
I mean, if you lose and you've influenced the dice, what's the point?
Yeah. Definitely. Hey, I lost $2,000. But I pushed that 7 back down to 14 or 13%, same as the 6 and 8.
Right. It only came out 1 and 7%. 1 and 7 rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, if you lost, that's not successful. So
that's not good. Yeah.
That's why I don't believe in pros because if you could push it, then you should also bet it, and you should bet it heavy.
Yeah.
And make big money. So
if you can do it.
Yeah. When those sucker butts hit, you question yourself even more. I don't really. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I get it. It's like, yeah, I'm playing disciplined, and then this Yahoo over there is hitting the hard ways and parlay the hard way, and then it hits again, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're like, why didn't my 6 and 8 just got paid 21?
But you know what, skill and luck. I find great comfort when everybody else at the table is winning. And I can look at myself at the night in the mirror when I'm washing my face, and I say, hey, I didn't make one house edge bet that was more than 1.5.
Yeah, I stuck below. I stuck to that smart
my
bets.
principles and my smart bets, and I feel
I'm a $500
really good about it.
loser, Bonnie, but I did not
stuck
bet
to my
anything
bet.
over 1.5%. So just know I played really, really smart.
Oh, Bonnie understands now. She says, "Hey, when you're rolling the dice, bet on yourself. Hey, get on there, because there is no worse feeling in the casino than when you hit the ATS and everybody's losing their mind. You're not on it, and to rub salt into the wound, you didn't even repeat your come bets or whatever. It's terrible.
That is the one time you got to make a bad bet is the ATS when you are rolling the dice. You got to do it. I think we might have to make that an official rule. You got to do it. I don't care.
DiceCon mandatory.
Got to do it. All right. Thanks for
buddy.
everyone showing up. We will probably see you next week.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Until then, adios and good night.